Hi, I'm Heather, and today I'm going to be talking about scripting, which is a tool you can use to bring more of what you want into your life. So first of all, I want to give a shout out to Oh My Annie. She has a channel on YouTube, and she is who I learned about scripting from. I've used a lot of different tools to achieve kind of the same end result, like vision boards, visualization, different types of journaling, but I haven't done scripting before. And for me, I feel like it has had by far the most immediate impact compared to everything else that I've done, at least for me. So to give you a little backstory, I had a really rough March and first half of April. I was sick twice, and in between that time, I didn't feel right. I was under the weather. I was napping every day. I just felt really off. And there were a lot of little things that contributed to that, and I do struggle with anxiety and OCD, and that was like really out of whack. And I just felt like I was stuck in a cycle, kind of like on a hamster wheel, and I couldn't get off of it. And that's where scripting really came in handy. So I've been scripting now for about 2 or 3 weeks, and I have to say, I'm in a completely different place than I was a few weeks ago. That could be due to a bunch of things, but scripting is definitely at least part of it. Scripting is basically writing a journal entry just like you would about your day, about how you're feeling, about what you're doing, but you're writing about all the things that you want to have as if you already have them. So I use this journal, which I've had for 6 to 8 years, and I barely used. I maybe wrote 1 or 2 entries in it. It says you can make anything by writing, which I think is pretty appropriate for this purpose. But how I use it is I don't put a date on the journal entries, because if I write today's date, I kind of know that I don't have the things I'm writing about, and that kind of messes with my vibe, I guess. And I don't want to put a date on it because I don't know exactly when these things will happen. So to not limit myself, I don't put a date on the entries, and I started with writing about things I wanted to have. So more clients, or I wanted new carpeting for the house, or like, what else? Just things that, like, actual tangible things that I wanted, or tangible results I wanted to see in my life and my business. And for the funk that I was in, I found that that was not actually the best way to do that. I switched from writing about things that I wanted to have to focusing on how I wanted to feel. I would write every day about how I was feeling so happy and light and energized, because at that time I was really drained. So I was writing about how energized I was feeling, how good I was feeling, how grateful I was feeling. And that was a huge shift. That made such a big difference. And something that's interesting now is that when I first started writing these entries, it felt really far away. Like, the stuff I was writing was not actually how I was feeling, because I wasn't feeling light and happy. I was feeling kind of very anxious and afraid and stressed out. So now when I sit down and write these entries, like, half the entry is how I already am feeling. And when I start my day sitting down and writing a journal entry about exactly how I want to feel, as if I already feel that way, my day is so much better than if I don't do it. Now I'm getting so used to doing it that if I don't sit down and do that in the morning, I can tell for the rest of the day how off I actually feel. So that's kind of my experience with scripting so far. I think it works because it actually gets me excited for the day ahead. It opens up a little bit of space in my mind for something that's creative and exciting and fun. Whereas typically I start my day just ruminating and worrying and thinking about, like, all the things that could go wrong, things that I've missed, things that I'm behind on. So taking some time to just think about all the things that could go right is amazing. Another reason this works, because I've looked into this a little bit, it reminds me a lot of visualization, because when you're visualizing, you're going through very specific details in your head, and you're getting super, super detailed about how those things would happen, what they would look like. Visualization sometimes trips me up because I don't know exactly what I want my life to look like, so I start to get worried. Like, what if I want it to be different? What if it doesn't work out that way? So scripting is nice because you don't have to be that specific about it. You can write about how you want to feel. I know how I want to feel. I don't know exactly how that's going to unfold or what that's going to look like. So for me, scripting, I think, gives a little bit more freedom with that. And the reason this works on a scientific level is because with visualization and with scripting, when you're going through something in your mind that's so detailed, like you can see yourself doing it, you're writing it down as if it's already happening to you, your brain thinks you've already done it, so it's telling you to take actions to make that happen, or your brain kind of thinks like, it has a hard time separating your reality from this very, very detailed future that you're creating in your head. And I know this is true because with anxiety, I can come up with things in my head that are not happening, and I can totally convince my body that I am in mortal danger even though I'm not. So I know how powerful the mind is in creating your reality. So this is a way to take it and create a reality that you want, that you're excited about, instead of letting your brain run rampant and create like all these terrifying things that probably will never ever happen. Those are the basics of what scripting is. You can use it to write about how you want to feel, what you want to have, but the point is that you are writing things that make you feel really good and you're really excited about. It's kind of all about the feeling that you get while you're doing this. And I like to write an entry every morning, and then I look back at the ones I've done earlier in the week. Once I'm done, I just feel really good and excited for what's to come. I will say, I think this works well for me because I am a writer. That's what I do for a living. So I think it just kind of meshes with me really well. For you, it might be something different. I know people who swear by vision boards. I know people who hate vision boards. Visualization, affirmations. I think the key is just to try things until you find something that really resonates with you. And once you find that thing, just really stick with it, and I think you'll see a lot of positive change in your life. So I also wrote a blog post about this. I will link that below. I talk about a few different things there that I did here. So definitely check that out, and I will be back next week with another video. See you then. Bye.